Hello and welcome, I am Ryan, aka Mac, and yesterday during the anniversary livestream we got our first glimpse of Star Marine. Now this video is going to be a breakdown and overview of what we saw with Star Marine, how it's progressed, how it's looking, and just delve into what we got to see. Now the intended release schedule for 2.6 is to be the 8th of December 2016. That is when the live version of Star Marine is intended to be released. Now please bear in mind that this is just the internal speculated date. It is not the official release date. It is not Chris Roberts promising that it'll happen this time. Chris Roberts has decided to share with us the internal schedule, which will and can change due to blockers and so forth. There is a full post regarding this decision on, to show us all these timelines, which I will address in a separate video, but for now, take this as a target date and not as a promise. Before we start, Star Marine is currently not finished. Even the first release of it that we get will still be work in progress. I'll talk about the updates intended for it later. Star Marine is like Arena Commander if you didn't know. It is a game within a game, basically an FPS simulation for people living in the persistent universe to log into and test their FPS skills without repercussions. So what we saw was, on the live stream itself, 3 rounds of control. Now this is where you have to hack 4 terminals, which to be honest look like old IBM laptops, considering it's 900 years into the future. Each terminal acts as a point of interest that you need to either attack or defend. So we saw 3 7-minute rounds. It looks as though you have to have the majority of the points to win, so the more control points you have, the more points you gain. And I've sort of worked it out that for every terminal you hold, it gives you a single point for every 3 seconds. Also, it looks as though you have to hold down the use button until the progress bar is finished to take the terminal. You can't just hit it and hope for the best. So what we got to see was technically a 6v6 controlled game on Station Damien. Now it looks as though it was to start with 6v5 and then I think it went to 5v4. We saw Team Aegis, who are the Marines, and Team Anvil, who are the Outlaws. Station Damien is the smaller area, Echo 11 being the larger one. It looks very similar to Korea, but enough adjustments just to look different. And it was noted before that this map would only support 4v4. It may have changed, but it could possibly just be because this map is ready and they wanted to have more than 4 people fighting, so we will see. So they start in a staging area. It's a place where you can sort of wait for others to ready up. You can pick up your ammunition, maybe change your weapons, I don't know. Also, throughout the station, you'll notice there are health pickups. Now, the first thing to point out is the UI. On the top is the scoreboard with each team and the countdown timer, plus A through to D being the terminals. At the bottom center is the minimap. Now, it looks as though the audio isn't hooked up for the minimap, but I know they have said that there will be audible indications as to where people are. The bottom left is the location names to help with callouts. This is something you'll want to learn, like they do in the sort of MLG games for Call of Duty and so forth. Top right informs you of the terminals being hacked. Now, things like the person's name, the EAI, and the live from LA, they're not likely to be in the final version. This is just for video purposes only, so we know who we're watching. The bottom right shows your mag counter, the ammo count in the weapon currently. Bottom left shows the health, which is sort of blocked with this name. Also, I'll point out to the top right, the FPS counter. The lowest I saw it go to was 49, so it's good. It seems to steady around the 60. They've probably got some sort of V-Sync running, I do not know. But the new armor looks amazing. The Marines are in the sort of like the cool green. Outlaws appear to have some form of yellow glow. I'm not sure if that's going to be too revealing or not. We'll have to wait and see. Eventually, you'll see blood splattering and bullet holes on the wall. It looks very, very awesome. Now, they go through a force field. Now, this could be to either stop people firing into the staging areas. However, I have seen bullets go through it, so it's possible it could just be transitioning between rooms with atmosphere and rooms that are sort of on the outside. Initially, it looks kind of twitchy. Now, this isn't final, I don't think. I'm hoping they will update the animation. Running and general movement looks great. The location, the setting itself is incredible. Graphically wise, it looks amazing, as expected. The weapons seem a lot smoother and more fluid. We can see the manufacturer sort of unifications have come in, but there does seem to be this sort of quick draw, twitchy movement going on. Again, I hope this is going to be fine-tuned. As I said before, everything is subject to change, so it's still a work in progress, so do bear that in mind. Plus, the complete lack of tactics doesn't show off the game too well, but I'll show you the press version or the official release version afterwards. Now, defending a room looks to be very difficult with access points in so many different locations, not to mention you have vertical access via the stairs and the balconies. Attackers will probably find it much easier than defenders will. But something that annoys me in most games, like The Division, is that people tend to be bullet sponges. I think in this game the armor presents good protection, so if you're wearing heavy armor you will absorb more fire. I don't think if you're wearing armor it'll be, you know, a couple of shots and you'll be down. Grenades are sounding good. I know that was a big blocker. Station Damien looks awesome. I mean, you can see there's so much variation to it. You've got engineering, construction areas, sort of a pedestrianised area named Arrivals. Like an airport, it's sort of brighter and cleaner. You have waiting rooms, landing pads, comm stations. The lighting has been done very, very well. I cannot remember the actual history behind Station Damien. I believe it's an abandoned space station. It is quite sizable to say it's the smallest of the 2 levels. Echo 11 is supposed to be one of the biggest maps they have created. But also, while they're running around, it is said that friendlies will have friendly tags or some form of ID so you don't shoot your own teammates. To be honest, I would rather they didn't point that out, as, you know, it would slow the game a lot more, so you'd be making sure that you stick together and confirming your target before you start firing. But it is an arcade game in itself, so I can understand why. Now, we've seen some breakable glass. It looks very nice. The nice mix of EVA and FPS. Weapons have attachments, and when you land a hit, it appears to give like an audible ping, just, you know, to notify you that you're actually hitting someone or hitting your target. Twerk did mention that you can bleed out, so you have to make sure you heal every time you're shot. I'm not sure if this is with energy weapons as well. I can only imagine that you'll bleed out with ballistic damage. But the new armor helmets have varying viewpoints. Very cool. This is something they've said a long time. You know, your heavy armor will be more restrictive compared to light armor. We saw also at the end the new leaderboards, which gives the rank, the name, the kill to death score, your score, and also your rec. So rental equipment credits, which allows you to unlock and earn better weapons and armor, which doesn't seem to be running at the moment with it being first stage of it all. Plus your ping, which is obviously explains itself. So I'll just show the first round of this, and then we'll show the press version. Some things that I'm not happy about, as I've told you before, is the sort of twitchy, jerky weapon movements, which I'm hoping will be updated. The heavy armor tail looks a bit odd when it sways side to side. It's kind of mesmerizing. Plus, the grenade throwing is not smooth yet. This is still being worked on, I'm sure, because it was a big blocker for a long time. My advice when it starts coming to this sort of game is learn the locations, get to know each room, help with call-outs with your team, learn each weapon, so get to know each weapon and how it works, and, you know, the distances you can be to use them, the location of the health drops and ammo crates as well. Start working together as a team and sticking together, moving tactically. It is so important, and I just cannot wait. Also, they said that there will be last stand and elimination game modes which are being worked on. There's going to be facial idols, which are expressions for actions like being hurt or dying or maybe getting a satisfying kill. More destructible props, currently it's just the glass. And combat signals, which is currently in QA or ready for QA, which allows you to use your hands to signal your teammates. Now, I'm going to leave you with the press version. This is a pre-recorded, not live. It looks a lot smoother, more teamwork. Let me know your thoughts, guys. I am so hyped for this, and I just cannot wait to get my hands on Star Marine and start testing it out with you lot, my org, live on Twitch. It's going to be a lot of fun getting teams together and just having a constant round of Star Marine. My hype is completely back. I love the work that CIG and Chris Roberts are doing. They're incredible people. I love the community. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. Follow me on Twitter. Follow me on Twitch. Links are below. And I shall see you next time.
Accessing control point. Accessing control point. Accessing control point. Control point gained. Control point gained. Accessing control point. gained. Accessing control point. Control point gained. Control point gained. Accessing control point. Control point gained. Accessing control point. Accessing control point. Control point gained. Control point gained.